that. And then I saw them two guys, they were standing outside and they were looking at him and he was looking back at them, and I don't know, I didn't think much of it. I mean, I stayed there and talked to Matt for a good 10 minutes, and you can see they were getting worried, like anxious to leave and shit. And when they took off, I saw it when they took off. They're in a black truck, a small black truck, and they were all squished in front, not in the middle. And when they left, I didn't think nothing of it, Like, I didn't know them boys were going to be like that. A friend of Aaron McKinney's.
I've known Aaron a long time. Aaron was a good kid. I liked him a lot. That's why I was shocked when I heard this, because I knew he's living out far, at his trailer house with his girl. That's what he told me. They just started dating last summer. Must have got pregnant as soon as they started dating, because they had a kid. He was only 21 years old, but he had a kid. See, that's the kind of person Aaron was. He was always just dressed in like big clothes, like the Tommy Hilfigers, the Polos, the Gucci's, And at the time I knew him, he was just a scared kid, just trying to fit in, trying to act cool, acting tough, but you could just get his face about it and he would just back down like some kind of scared kid.
Russell was just so sweet. He was just like the one who was the Eagle Scout, His whole presence was just quiet and sweet. So, of course, it doesn't make any sense to me what happened. And I know people snap or whatever, and it wasn't a real intimate relationship. I was just his landlord. But I did work with him at the choke wagon, too. And I remember this one Christmas party. He was just totally drunk out of his mind. I mean, we were all pretty much just party time. But he wasn't belligerent. He didn't change. His personality didn't change. He was the same little meek Russell. And I remember him coming up to me and saying, "Sherry, when you get a chance, can I have a dance?" Which, of course, we never did get around to doing that. And now, I just want to shake him. What were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking?
The fence. I've been out there 4 times. I've taken visitors. That place has become a pilgrimage site. Clearly it's a very powerful personal experience to go out there. It is so stark, it's so empty. And you can't help but think about Matthew out there for nearly 18 hours in freezing temperatures, with a view out there, isolated. The God, my God, why have you forsaken me, comes to mind.
Company member Greg Karate.
Phil LaBria, a friend of Matthew's, took us to the fence this morning. I swear, I broke down the minute I touched it. I feel such a strong kinship with this young man, and on the way back I made sure that no one saw me crying.
Lee Fondakowski.
Greg was crying on the way back. I felt the same, but I just couldn't bring myself to tears. I have an interview this afternoon with Aaron Kreifels. He's the boy who found Matthew out there at the fence. I don't think I'm up for it right now. I'll see if someone else can do it. Well, I took off on my bicycle at about 5 o'clock p.m. from my dorm. I always kind of felt like going for a ride. So I went up to the top of Cactus Canyon, and I'm not super familiar with that area, so on my way back down, I was just kind of picking the way to go, which now, it just makes me think that God wanted me to find him, because there's no way that I was going to go that way. So I was in some deep-ass sand, and I wanted to turn around, but for some reason, I kept going. So I'm going along, and I was going along, and there was this rock on the ground, and I just drilled it. I mean, I went over the handlebars and ended up on the ground. And so I got up, and I was just kind of dusting myself off, and I was looking around, and I saw something, which ended up to be Matt. He was just lying there by the fence. I just thought it was a scarecrow. No, really, I was like, the Halloween's coming up, you know, I thought it was a Halloween prank, so I didn't think much of it, you know, and I got my bike and I walked around the fence that was there, and there was a buck-type fence, and that's when I saw his hair, and that was a big part for me, you know, realizing it was a human being was his hair, because I just thought it was a dummy, seriously. I even noticed his chest going up and down, and I still thought it was a dummy. I mean, I just thought it was some kind of mechanism, you know, but when I saw his hair, I knew it was a human being. So I just ran as fast as I could to the nearest house, and I called the police. I responded to the call.
Officer Reggie Flutie.
Well, when I first got there, at first, the only thing I could see was partially somebody's feet. And so I got out of my vehicle and I raced over. I seen what appeared to be a young man, maybe 13 or 14 years old, because he was so tiny, and he was lying on his back, and he was tied to the bottom of the pole. I did the best I could. The young gentleman that was laying there, Matthew Shepard, he was covered in dry blood. There was dry blood underneath him. He was barely breathing. He did the best he could. I went to breathe for him, but I couldn't get his mouth open. His mouth wasn't open for me. He was covered in, like I said, partially dry blood and blood underneath him. The only place where he did not have any blood on him, on his face, is what appeared to be where he had been crying down his face. His head it was distorted. You know, it did not look normal. It looked as though he had a real harsh head wound.
I was working the emergency room the night Matthew was brought in, and I don't think that any of us have seen a patient in that condition for a long time. Most of us that have worked in a big city hospital have seen this. There are some people here who have not worked in a big city hospital, and it's not something you expect here. You expect this kind of injury to come from a car going down a hill at 80 miles an hour. You expect to see gross injuries or something like that. This horrendous, terrible thing. But you don't expect to see that from someone doing this to another person. The ambulance report said it was a beating, so we knew.
There was nothing I could do for him. I mean, if there was anything I could have done, I would have done it, but there was nothing. And I was like screaming at the top of my lungs at him, trying to get something out of him, like, hey, wake up, hello! But he didn't move, he didn't flinch, he didn't do anything.
He was tied to the fence. His hands were thumbs out, in what we call a cuffing position. The way that we handcuff people, he was bound with a real thin white rope, and it went around the bottom of the pole and came about 4 inches off the ground. His shoes were missing. He was bound so tight, so I had to use my boot knife, and I tried to slip it between the rope and his wrist. I had to be extremely careful not to harm Matthew any further.
Your first thought is, well, certainly, at least you'd like to think that this is someone from out of town who comes through and beats somebody. You know, shit happens, and it happens in Laramie. But if someone has been beaten repeatedly, that is certainly something that offends us. Yeah, I think that's a good word. It offends us.
He was bound so tight. I finally got back through there, and I'm sorry. We rolled him on over to his left side. Once we did that, he stopped breathing. Immediately, we put him back on his back. That was just enough of an adjustment for us to. It gave us enough room for us to cut him free. Then I seen the EMS unit trying to get to our location. Once they got here, we placed a neck collar on him. Then we put him on a backboard and scooted him out from underneath the fence. Then Rob drove the ambulance to Ivinson Hospital's emergency room.
Now, the strange thing is, 20 minutes before Matthew came in, Aaron McKinney was brought in by his girlfriend. I guess you'd gotten into a fight later that night back in town. So I'm working on Aaron, and Matthew, the ambulance comes in with Matthew, so I tell Aaron to wait so I can go treat Matthew. Now, at this point, I don't know that there's a connection at all. So I have Aaron in one room of the ER, and Matthew in another room 2 doors down. Now, the minute we saw Matthew, we knew that his care was beyond our capabilities. I called the neurosurgeon at Coudray Valley Hospital, and he was on the road in an hour and 15 minutes, I think.
They showed me a picture of him. Days later, I saw a picture of Matthew. I would have never recognized him.
Then 2 days later, I found out the connection, and I was very struck. These were 2 kids. They were both my patients, and they were 2 kids. I took care of them, of their bodies, and I began to wonder if this is how God feels when He looks at us. We are all His children, our bodies, our souls. And I felt a great deal of compassion for both of them.
John Peacock, Matthew's academic advisor.
Well, the news reports started trickling in